So, congratulations. We're at the title company. We just signed documents. The title company has the funds, which is good, because sometimes when you're at a closing, the closing agent has to get all the signatures for the closing documents, send it to the lender reviews it, and then sends the money, and that could take an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. But with Waterstone Mortgage, they sent the money yesterday, so we don't. That makes it a faster process. We're going to talk about a little bit of the experience and hopefully learn some good insight to help others through their experience. So the first question is, what fears did you have about buying your new home today and renting your other home?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, the price. You have to really know what is your price range and be really realistic about it. You have to be responsible in terms of watching your finances, see how much you can afford, see how your property, if you're gonna rent it, if it's in good condition or not, and if it needs repairs, you have to add that into the budget as well. I think that's for me.
Yeah. I have never rented a property that we owned before, so I was just a little bit hesitant to do it at all. And the process went so smoothly with you and with you talking me through it that I'm not nervous about it anymore.
We found some good tenants. I think that's the biggest risk, is finding someone that's going to destroy your house.
Yeah.
You're right. That's like, and then you have to evict them, and then how do you do that, and all the nightmares. What they don't talk about is all the success stories. I really feel that that's a big gap, so that's good. And another thing I want to point on is finances. That's good that you said that. A lot of people don't think about having their finances in order. They think about just the bottom line, or just let's go find a house, and they forget about the concept of discipline, savings, having your finances in order.
Sure.
Oh, wonderful.
This is a copy of everything that you just signed, and
Okay.
here's my email address should you need anything in the future. Your surveys are going to come directly to your home from the surveyor, so you'll find original raised seal copies coming to you. Please put them with this information as well. You're also going to get next week a copy of the title insurance policy and your recorded deed.
Oh,
so
great.
just keep everything together in one neat and tidy spot.
Which
Okay.
there is a copy of the deed in here,
Of course.
and you'll take that to get your water turned on, and then
Okay.
so when you leave here, that's something you can do. And also home why am I forgetting the word?
Insurance?
No, homestead. So the homestead right now is on your other property. You're gonna wanna file for homestead on this property.
Actually, you want to port it over.
Or, okay, yes, listen to our experienced closing agent.
Okay.
Your homestead portability has some value since you've been reserving up your equity in your home. Your taxes will not rise at that same exact rate. The county keeps that down, and they will allow you to port any of the benefit you have already earned over to your new home.
Oh, okay.
How do you do that?
How do you do that, yeah?
You'll just speak with your tax collector about that.
Tax
So
collector,
the clerk of count, clerk of court, just the clerk of court.
No, the tax collector. Go right to the tax
So
collector's
go there
office.
and then wait in line and talk to.
Actually, the appraiser's office will have something to do with that as well. Call them and make an appointment, or they can, I
Go
think
over it
it's
on the
actually
phone.
on the application, it'll talk about your portability. It'll ask you where you're moving from, and I think they automatically do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I know at the homestead, you could do it online, you fax it in. Well, not online, but you print it out and then you fax it in,
Scan it.
or scan it and email it, and then, so I'm sure there's an option. But that's good, I didn't know that. So what you're saying is that the taxes on the property that they're now renting isn't gonna go up as high as it would normally, and they're gonna get homestead on their new house.
Okay, wait, so you don't get homestead when you rent?
Correct,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Oh,
it's
you're
only-
talking about you're renting it out, you're keeping
Yes,
it.
yes,
Okay, my bad.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, so yes. So how long have you owned that?
4 years.
4
Okay,
years.
so for the 4 years, you've gotten an increase in your equity or your value of the home, okay? So the tax collector for every county does not penalize you for the property value going up that fast, especially in the last 4 years probably. They're gonna cap it at a certain percentage.
Okay, so the answer to the first question was the finances. We're talking about fears of renting your home out, worrying about that it's gonna get destroyed, making sure that doesn't happen. There's two ways to rent a house. You hired a real estate agent and we went through a management company. So it's almost like I sold it, but I found someone and we rented it. There's other people that do it on their own. They just put it on Zillow and they personally go through the steps, and they either know what they're doing or they don't know what they're doing. And the ones that don't know what they're doing more than likely have that bad story of I found a bad pin. Okay, so second question. What process did you use to select me to work for you?
I found a house on Trotwood Boulevard that I thought I liked, and your name was on Zillow with the listing, and so we met you to look at that house, and that house ended up being a bust. We didn't like it, but you helped us find the house that we did like.
So you met me through Zillow, and I pay to be on Zillow. It's not a free thing. So all those names that you see, I paid to be on there. Now I'm sure I wasn't the only one on that listing. There was other ones, right?
I don't remember.
No,
Was I the
what
only-
happens, I looked at the property that my wife wanted at first, and it came with a phone number, but the phone number, we couldn't see any phone number. It just says call agent. So I pressed call agent, and it directly
Send me
called
to you. Oh, good.
So it's a
Okay, and
service
that was
you
Zillow.
don't see the realtors.
You don't see it?
No,
Huh.
on Zillow you just press call, and it will guide you to someone. That someone was you.
Perfect. Okay. Fate.
That's how it works.
Fate. Okay. And then when you met me, I know I'm going there I think of it as interviewing for the job. So I wanted to make sure I had all my material to give to you, like my buyer's guide. And normally with Zillow, going back to that, the first house that I meet the client at I've only had it once where we actually bought that house, but normally it's not the house. It's not the house. And what I try not to do is, instead of talking about the lending, as soon as I get on the phone with you, I leave that for when we meet in person. Because a lot of people don't understand it. They put up a wall and then it sounds too hard and then they don't want to go look at the house. So I try to make it easy, which y'all knew about that already. I think you've worked with one other agent with the new build, but what did I do differently from other agents you've worked with?
I think. Well, I have a lot to say.
Well, I'm going to put two questions together. Right? The third question is, what did I do differently? And then the fourth question is, how did I handle it? And I really think those are kind of like very similar. So, okay, I'll let you answer.
Well, I'll really talk really good about you. I think just since we met you, we met a person who is committed into solving problems, and I really like that. Number two, a person who loves what he does. You love what you do, and we can totally connect with that. I think the most important aspect is that you know about building structures, building houses, you know materials. That's your expertise, and that added to people's skills and just the fact that you want to solve problems. I think that makes you unique, and I really love working with you in that regard. So if I had to, recommend a realtor, there is no one better than you.
That's my next question.
Yeah.
That'll be my next question. So I appreciate that. I didn't pay him. There's no paid advertisement here. I want to go back to that. I know building materials. You're right. I've spent over 8 years with another company doing something else in sales, and that taught me a lot about outside. And then prior to just all the projects or other jobs I've had, I know a lot about.
It's a perfect combo.
Building. If it's good windows, bad windows, not insulated, to the framing. You know how I debated the inspector on the brick. The home that you purchased is very rare because you normally don't see brick. Block with stucco, not brick. The home you're renting is block with stucco. The home you bought is brick. And if you notice, the brick are a special size. I've never even seen them that. You'd think of a brick as a 2x4, 2.5 by 4.5 inches. Your brick is 8 inches wide by 3 inches thick. It's a true brick and mortar house. So I even learned something new that day. So we really, and all the houses in that subdivision are that, so it's good for the value. It holds the value well. But you're absolutely right, knowing the guts of the house, because you can really like something, but it's not good. It's not going to be a good investment. And I always say this, I wouldn't let you buy anything I wouldn't buy. Something like that. So, and my little acronyms is Jeff, your personal realtor, aka problem solver.
Problem solving.
Mhm.
That's true.
That's true,
And it's
yeah.
not that it's a bad thing that I'm solving a problem. The problem isn't a bad problem. It's just that's how you get to a good investment, is solving those good problems. You know, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So I appreciate that. So yeah, I could sit here all day, man, all day. But this video isn't about me. It's about to help others as much as I enjoy them. All right. So the last question is, what would you say in recommending me to a friend, a family member, your worst enemy, whoever?
I would say, I think you're very trustworthy. And I remember the moment when I decided that. It was at the first house that we didn't get, and we saw you pull up in your truck, and we saw you come out. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know, realtors. And we were mentioning our kids, and you right away mentioned your kids, and I was talking about how I had to go to church after the showing, and you were talking about where you go to church with your family, and it kind of put me at ease and made me feel like, okay, this isn't like a salesman person necessarily. It's a trustworthy friend kind of person.
You're right. It's sales. Sales is, I think there's a lot of people in sales that are scared to call them a salesman. A salesman is not a bad thing, and I think Zig Ziglar, I think God put him on the planet and had him do his thing, his books, his seminars, because he teaches that sales is a healthy thing. It's not a behind a magic, a scheme. And a lot of people have a bad experience with sales. Sales is, like you're saying, pull up in my truck, I look presentable. I'm conveying to you that I'm just a person, a normal person, and I'm here to have your best interest, not buy the property, this is your property, buy the property, you should buy this property, even though it's not for you. And what I did is, I've been in sales my whole life. Without salespeople, no product would be here. There would be no products, because the person that has the product wouldn't be able to get it to consumer, right? And that's like a service. I think of sales as a service, but you're absolutely right. And I try to differentiate that, because in this type of transaction, it is a sales, but it's not a traditional where you have to make a decision today. You have to make a decision today or the world's going to end. That's not this, and that's completely the wrong way to approach it. And some realtors approach that. It's like you're getting a new car. I know where we're going, but it's your new car. I'm driving it, and I'm telling us where to go, but it's your car. So you own the car. You're the ownership of it. So I appreciate that's a very good thing. I haven't heard someone say that before. So awesome. All right, guys. Well, congratulations again to their new house. We used Title Team, which I'm sure I'm going to use Rebecca again, because she went above and beyond. And Waterstone Mortgage was the mortgage company. Mike Smalley, if I pronounce his name wrong, I apologize. So I look forward to seeing you at your next closing. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and always hit that subscribe button so you can be up to date and stay up to date on all my new real estate videos.